Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Amara. This is Amara's Logic. Got a new video for you today. I know I'm a couple days late, been busy, had things going on, but we got to talk about it. Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares for the WBC lightweight title that happened this past Saturday in Vegas, in Mandalay Bay. Or let me be specific. Let me not lie to y'all. Hold on, let me see where this was specifically here. Yeah, Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So I was right. Okay, so we in pocket. So what we're going to talk about today is not... The fight was a great fight. I thought Linares showed why he's been a three-time champion, why he's so respected and is a tough out. I would like to give him his credit first. And Linares is coming off a layoff, and he showed a lot of heart and gumption out there. Standing in with a young, fast, up and rising champion like Devin Haney. So I just want to give Jorge Linares his props because I thought he was going to get washed and get knocked out. That was what I assumed was going to happen. I felt like this was the inauguration. This was going to be the inauguration to start or superstardom for Devin Haney. That's what I thought. Got him! Now, the reason I played that was because that's not how it turned out. Everybody thought like this was just going to be more of a sparring. Devin Haney was just going to walk through Linares, knock him out, or just whitewash him. And that wasn't the case. Linares came to fight, and he said that like leading up to this fight, that he came to fight. He wasn't going to lay down. He came to win, and he thinks he can beat the young lion. And the interesting thing is, like, you know, Devin Haney's 22. I think Linares is 35, so definitely a big age discrepancy there. However, Linares does that age also gives him a lot of wisdom, and he's seen a lot of different styles, and he's been in a lot of different wars. He's been knocked out. He's knocked other people out. He's just been through and seen a lot. So that's why this was such a great litmus test for Devin Haney to see where he really was, especially since some of his rivals were talking about his resume, people like Teofimo Lopez, people like Ryan Garcia. This was a true step up in competition for Devin Haney. And early on in this fight, it looked like Devin Haney, well, most of this fight, Devin Haney was controlling this fight. Devin Haney he showed great speed. He showed great ring generalmanship. He did a lot of good things out there, especially early on. Like his speed was ridiculous early on. He was catching and moving. He was missing a lot of shots, just showing just a lot of great defense, in my opinion, that Devin Haney was showing early. But what my friends and I, as we were watching the fight, what we were noticing is that Linares is kind of like a counter puncher type of guy, and he kept looking for that right hook. And he kept missing it, but he was looking for it all night long. He caught him, I think, partially in the 6th round that kind of jarred him. He caught him with a right that kind of jarred him, but you could tell all night that's what he was trying to time. That's the whole night. Linares, he was busy. He was throwing punches. He looked in great shape to me too. Let me just say, Linares didn't look like he was getting gassed in his fight, anything like that. He came to fight. I have a lot of respect for Jorge Linares. I've always kind of liked Linares' pause as far as his fighting ability and things of that nature. So I knew that this fight wasn't going to be a walkover. That's what people thought that don't know boxing. But the people that did knew that this was going to be serious for Haney. And the reason being, Jorge Linares is fighting for his career. He knows if he gets washed, it's over with him. So he had a lot on the line. Devin Haney wants to set up big fights with Teofimo Lopez, with Ryan Garcia, the unified titles. So this is important to him. So it was a lot on the line in this fight for different reasons. which made this fight compelling, in my opinion, because you didn't know what was going to happen. You assumed Devin Haney was going to win, but you always know that Linares has a puncher's chance because he got some power. Let's not forget, he did drop Loma with a straight right down the pipe. Loma had to get himself together. And Loma was the pound king at that time. And that's the other thing. Jorge Linares fought Lomachenko. He's fought elite competition. So Jorge Linares is not a cab driver. He's not an Uber driver. He's not a CDL driver. He is a legit former champion that got hands. So Devin Haney, for what he was doing early on and dealing with someone that has that much has that kind of ring IQ and has been seasoned that long in boxing, was very impressive. Very impressive what Haney was doing, especially in the first half of the fight. I feel like Linares picked it up in the second half of the fight. Obviously, we know what we're here to talk about, but we'll get to that. But I felt like early on that Devin Haney was controlling this fight the first half easily. I thought he washed every round for the most part. Like, I just don't see it. I felt like his ring gentlemanship, his jab, his body shots, his defense, everything was so crisp from Devin Haney earlier. The only thing was that you can see that right hand. He had no way to neutralize the right hand from Linares. It just, you could see him trying to time it. He just didn't have the electricity to let it go right, but he was showing the blueprint on punches that Devin Haney's susceptible to. Everybody's susceptible to something. Everybody gets exposed. And it takes a great fighter to expose your flaws. That's why we got to give Linares credit. He wasn't in there getting beat up and battered. He was taking shots. He was giving shots. But he was also showing you the flaws in Devin Haney's game, which is that defense protecting that right hand. But besides that, I thought Haney looked really good. He fought going forward. He was able to fight going back. He has a lot of just pure boxing ability that boxing purists will really appreciate when you watch Devin Haney. I also like to say that I hope Linares gets another shot for another big fight because he showed a lot of heart out there. And it wasn't like his face was all beat up like in other fights, which leads me to something else we're going to talk about right after this point. Linares he should be fighting against somebody else in that division. I feel like, I don't want to say this, but at least he'll be getting checks. He could almost be like a gatekeeper at this point, Jorge Linares. And that's no disrespect, but I'm just saying at this stage in his career, like he could still stick around being like a gatekeeper, testing these young guys, because he gave this boy all he wanted. Let's not be fooled, okay? Like, even though he won, it wasn't easy. Linares was letting his hands go. He was making things difficult. He was timing. He was counter punching, and he caught Devin Haney a few times. And I felt like in the second half of the fight, I feel like it was ring rust maybe the first half for Linares, but he looked a lot better in the second half. He looked crisper. He just looked like he got a second win. He just looked like the rounds were getting a lot closer in the second half of the fight, which is why I believe those scorecards were close as they were, because I feel like Devin Haney slowed down a little bit in the second half of the fight, and Linares did pick it up. But I do think that was caused Haney thinking he had all those first 6 rounds in the bag, so he kind of slowed up a little bit. But he was still aggressive. But you could just tell he slowed up a little bit. But he's still aggressive because he was trying to get the knockout. He was starting to walk Linares down, but Linares is countering. But he started really trying to walk him down in the second half of that fight. Until the situation occurred, and that's what everybody is talking about with this fight. Let's just get off into it. And then I want to talk about some clowns and cowards that in the peanut gallery made comments after the situation. So I was telling you that the right hook was a problem for Devin Haney. Like that was a money shot, and that's what Linares saw in the game tape. So that's what he was going for. He caught him partially earlier in the fight, like maybe like the 6th round. But what everybody's talking about is the 10th round. And what they're talking about is this here. I hope I don't get copyright, but I'm just going to show it real quick. See what happened. So this is what happened. This is This is the big thing, the big deal about everybody. So this is on DAZN's page. So before anybody said, this is on DAZN's page, and this is what everybody's talking about in this fight. That right there is what everybody is talking about. That right there is what everybody's talking about. That right there. Him wobbling and getting caught at the end of the 10th round. And he did get caught, and he clearly was wobbling going back to the corner. Clearly was hurt. Clearly was hurt. Devin Haney looked crazy in those last 2 rounds. He was holding for dear life. Real talk, I'm not biased. I don't have a dog in the race. I just like to see good boxing. He should have had a point taken away. Real talk, he should have had a point, maybe even 2 taken away. He was holding. He was holding you like your gal when she ain't seen you in a week. You've been out of town. Like that, holding for dear life. He was on Queer Street for, hell, what, 11th, most of the 11th, some of the 12th before he started getting his bearings together. His legs didn't look steady at all. Like, I'm going to say this, and I don't know, but I feel like if that 10th round, if that punch would have happened a minute and a half, 2 minute mark, we might have a different result in that fight. That's how hurt I feel Devin Haney was by that shot. I feel like he was cruise control and he let his guard down for 1 second, and you saw that right just come at the end, chopping right hand, and it detonated on Devin Haney's chin. So that's the next thing I like to talk about is Devin Haney's chin. Looking a little shaky, baby. Looking a little shaky, in my opinion. I feel like that shot was clean, but I felt like he should have taken that a little better. I feel like his chin is a little, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I gotta wait for him to get in there with another heavy hitter, but I do feel like that chin looked a little. I mean, for real, like he was on Queer Street for damn near 2 rounds before he got his bearings straight. It's just a comparison. This isn't fair, but it's a comparison. When Mayweather got hit with he got hit with 2 nuclear shots from Shane Mosley. He held in an adequate way to get himself together, and then you could just see how seasoned he was, and he was able to understand that he was hurt and what he needed to do. He didn't put himself in position. He got hit twice. The first time, I was like, oh, then he came back, thought it was already, got hit again. That's when he held, but it was in the right way. It wasn't like he was all like, noodle leg. He held, got himself together, moved. But before that round ended, he already was taking control of that round. His chin held up from 2 nuclear shots from a Hall of Fame puncher in Shane Mosley. Devin Haney. Jorge Linares does have pop. But, I mean, he really put dude on. You could see his whole body relaxed. I'm surprised he didn't go down. I don't know how he didn't. That's why I give him a little credit for his chin, because he didn't go down. He easily could have. And I think he would have if there was more time. But to his credit, he showed championship heart, and he did what he needed to do to survive those last 2 rounds. And that's what he did, was survive. He literally just survived those last 2 rounds. So, and I even, I could see somebody kind of giving Jorge those last 3-4 rounds. So I get the scorecard at that point, and that's why I said that Linares turned up the second half of the fight. Now let's get to these clowns now. Teofimo Lopez, all on social media, talking reckless. Your food and all this fly stuff. That's cute. I see Ryan, mental health issues Garcia. I would have slept you if that was me. Why didn't you fight him then? He called both of y'all out. This is the stuff I'm talking about. That's why I hate social media sometimes. You clowns get on here and you talk wild reckless when somebody wanted to give you wreck. He wanted smoke. He called both of y'all out. Y'all didn't want to smoke that. Oh, Teofimo Lopez was like, oh, your resume. I want you to fight somebody. You gotta earn it. But then but now this is the thing. Sharks are in the water now because they feel Devin Haney is food now because he got exposed. So they thinking the chin is suspect. And they also think about, and they're not saying it, but I understand, he don't have any pop. That's what's going to derail Devin Haney's career. You heard it here first. He doesn't have pop to make somebody respect and fall back. And I knew that watching this fight because he was hitting Linares with some clean shit, and Linares was just still coming. He wouldn't even stop and stride. When you get hit clean, you usually at least stop or you make a facial expression. You do something. And I didn't see that at all. Linares is the type of fighter where he has a lot of scar tissue because he's been in there in war. And he usually gets busted up along that fight. He had a little bit of swelling, but he wasn't busted up. That let me know right then and there that Haney's power is suspect. It's suspect. Linares didn't look hurt at all during any point in this fight, nor did he look like he was on noodle legs or he was running at any point. I think at one point he caught a body shot and kind of bent down, but that was really it. I just don't know if Devin Haney has the pop to get a Ryan Garcia off of him, to keep him off him and respect him, to get a Teofimo Lopez off of him, to get a Tank Davis off of him, because these people got pop. They'll get you up out of there. I'm not sure about their chins, but they got pop. For sure got pop. You feel me? Like, they definitely got pop. So, I'm interested to see now, since Devin Haney, quote-unquote, got exposed a little bit, got treated a little bit by Linares, and they started to see the chink in the armor with that right hook. Now they're circling. There's blood in the water, Devin Haney. Good or bad, this might have worked out for you because now all the people you calling out might want to come fight you because they think that that the blueprint has been put out on you, and they think they can execute what Linares was doing better, especially if they're younger, faster, and hit harder. So that's real. And I get it. As soon as you see somebody, wounded, you gonna go after him. And that's what they think. They out there thinking, oh, you thought you wanted this smoke. We're ready now. They ready now. I'm telling you, Devin Haney about to get another big fight. Teofimo, when he beat Cambroses, and Garcia when he get back off his mental sabbatical, they gonna want to fight him. They're not gonna want to fight Tank. They'll fight Devin. That Devin Haney has a lot of sizzle but no steak. And what I'm saying by sizzle is he has a lot of fancy moves. He got a lot of quick hand speed, but that steak is that pop, and he don't have that pop. And that's going to be the problem, and that's what's going to derail him from in his career as far as reaching certain pinnacles, because he won't be able to keep some of these fighters off of him like that. I'm telling y'all. Like, if you don't have no pop to make somebody respect you and fall back, he gonna walk through your punches. And to be honest, Linares is low-key walking through his punches. Linares wasn't stopped by anything or stopped in the track. He was just getting hit and eating them. He was eating punches, but he wasn't out there getting hurt and rocked or battered or nothing. Linares wasn't battered. He took a lot of clean shots. And I'm not going to say he could go to the club, but maybe if he wore some sunglasses, he might be able to go to the club. He was a little bit swelling, but he wasn't bleeding or leaking. And he's usually always leaking. Pause. He's always leaking. So that was also interesting. Also, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the chat and all that fly stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm very intrigued by what will be happening in Devin Haney's career going forward and who he's going to fight, since this was kind of like that eye-opening experience. Like, oh, he got rocked. Same thing with Ryan Garcia when he got knocked down, even though he won later by knockout, but you got knocked down by Luke Campbell. So you a little suspect too when you doing all this peacocking online, talking reckless when you didn't want to smoke. I think that should be the next fight for Linares. Except for Linares, I wouldn't mind that either. Actually, Linares, you got a new fan, Linares. Real talk, you got a new fan. But Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, I think they should fight next, and then the winner should fight Lopez, because I feel both of them have a lot to prove. Both had shaky previous performances, and they both need each other, and that would be a pay-per-view. Definitely would be a pay-per-view, in my opinion, or on a pay-per-view card with something huge over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like Wilder Fury or some shit. Like Wilder Fury, Haney, Ryan Garcia, like something like that. Like that will do outrageous numbers. I'm telling y'all that will do numbers. That will definitely do numbers. It's just interesting to see how some people, like, one fight just changes people's perception, and the people that want to fight you's perception on you. Just that little bit of getting exposed, just that little right hand was enough for them to be like, I can get him. I got it. Do y'all feel what I'm saying? Just that alone was enough to start to have people talking reckless and want to call him out and all this fly stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna, hey, yo, that division is funny. Like, there's some talent in there. Oh, you know who else is in that division? I mean, obviously he just got wrecked not too long ago, but he's still in the mix. Is Leo Santa Cruz? Why not have Devin Haney fight Leo Santa Cruz, or Ryan Garcia fight Leo Santa Cruz? That'll show a lot too. You whoop Santa Cruz, you did something, because Santa Cruz was giving Tank all he could take until Tank does what Tank does. But I don't know if Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney can give it up like that. So it'll be very interesting to see that fight. Even though he's coming off a knockout loss, I think Leo Santa Cruz took it in his stride. I think he's straight, and I like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing that. There's a lot of those fights in that division I'd like to see. Lomachenko could fight Ryan Garcia. I wouldn't be upset. Lomachenko could fight Devin Haney. There's a lot of fights that could happen. Low key, they should just have a tournament. They should definitely have a tournament. In my opinion, they should have a tournament. But I know they won't, because of pride and money and disputes among promoters. I just miss this. I just wish that everybody could do like they did back in the day, like with that Super 6 tournament, the Andre Ward one. They should do that for all these divisions, because too many of these clowns talk reckless and don't want to get in the ring and get smoked. They'd rather be fighting CDL, people getting their CDL license, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub fighters. So that's why we need to appreciate when some of these great fighters fight each other, because it's so rare now in boxing due to foolishness. So just like Martinez Taylor, I didn't think that would happen like that. But we got, undisputed champion now at 140, so it's getting interesting in boxing. A lot of people are going to get put in a corner where they're going to have to fight some people. They're going to have to fight some people. Garcia, you can only talk reckless so long. You're going to have to get in that ring and fight somebody that's legit. You're going to have to. Lopez, he can talk. He whooped the pound for pound dude, allegedly, in Lomachenko. So you know what, he want to talk reckless, I give it to him. You whoop Lomachenko, all right, bro. I'm gonna give you your flowers. Even Tank, you knocked out Santa Cruz, and he's legit former champion, so he can do a little talking. Now Garcia and Haney, I don't feel they can do that type of talking, which is why they need to fight each other. They have the most suspect resumes in that division, in my opinion. Those two have the most suspect resume. I would love to see that fight. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, subscribe, hit the like button, all that fly stuff. I'm going to try this real quick. I want to see if this works. Let me know if y'all see this at all. Let me see. Let me see if this show up at all. I'm trying to add some new stuff to the stream. Yeah. Just let me know if that show up. If y'all see all my social media handles in there in the lower left. I'm just trying something here. I just want to, trying to add add to the stream. You feel me? Just want to, I'm trying to get better at what I do. Y'all feel me? I'm trying to get better. Trying to provide elite content. That's the goal. Elite content. That's what I'm trying to do out here. So I enjoy the fight. I think now they didn't put any question marks on Devin Haney, but now there are questions about his chin, about his power, things like that. So now I think, like I said, other fights will be more likely due to this. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that Devin Haney got rocked, because now he can get the fights that he really wants. So we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued, and y'all know you can always come back here. I'm always gonna be talking about boxing, sports, all that fly stuff. So just subscribe. If it's anything boxing related is major, I'm gonna talk about it. I watch all the pay-per-views. I'm a boxing aficionado. Whatever I'm telling you, you can stand on it, because I'm gonna stand on it. So I appreciate y'all's support. Please comment, like, subscribe, share my videos. Let me know how you feel in the comment section, and let me know if my assessment of Devin Haney was harsh or if it was legitimate. And then also, where does Linares fall in this mix? Because I don't think he should be done. He should be fighting somebody else too, especially come off a layoff and fighting like that. So let's talk about it in the comment section. I mean, this fight has opened up a lot of different possibilities in a lot of different ways. So, like I said, this 135-pound division is serious right now. So we're gonna 130, my bad. 130. It should be 130. Yeah, 130. My bad. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see some of these upcoming fights. And y'all make sure y'all come back here and let's chop it up and get my analysis on it. So I'm Amara. This is Amara's Logic. This is my reaction and recap of what happened this past Saturday at the Mandalay Bay between Devin Haney and Jorge Linares for the WBC lightweight title. Gone.